Welcome everyone to the No Weiss challenge run. So what does this challenge actually involve? Well, apart from the subliminal messaging, basically playing on the hardest difficulty, and I'm not allowed to use the best book, Grimoire Weiss.
By the heavens, I have never been treated in such a manner. I am Grimoire Weiss. My very name brings kingdoms to their knees.
Which means no magic and no word edits. Magic is those red orbs you see some enemies shoot out, as well as some more powerful magic attacks that you will see in cutscenes. Since it's a cutscene, I'm going to allow it, it's fine, I can't really do anything about that. Word edits allow you to add stat bonuses to weapons, skills, and even magic. So, can we beat this game without any of that? Well, let's find out. First, I gotta de-rust. It's been a while since I played this, so I gotta take it easy and just clear mobs, and some more mobs, and even more, until NieR is sick and tired of all these mobs and decides to use the book. So we're gonna show him you don't need no book, just a steel pipe. So we go off and kill waves and waves of mobs, while the game wants us to use magic. Bonus flying enemies that you have to wait for them to load themselves before hitting them. It's time for the first boss. I learned if I jump and do a heavy attack, I can do a ground pound. This is perfect for damaging the boss and the little ads that spawn with it. Once all the ads are gone, you can focus on the boss. Now, a big gimmick to all the bosses is this timer. You have to do enough damage to the boss before the timer runs out to kill it, or goes to the next phase of the fight. If you don't do this, then the boss will heal a portion of their health and you will have to damage the boss till the timer reappears. Luckily, the timer does not reset the amount of damage you need to do and lets you just finish off the remaining damage in the same amount of time as before. But I struggle with this first boss, until I discover his body is his weak spot. So when the boss is down, I just hit the chest. It seems the other areas have a higher defense. With that, the boss goes down. After that, we are flung into the future, and since we don't have Weiss yet, we can only hit and dodge, so not much going on. Kill goats, kill shades, buy some medicine, kill more shades, then go search for Yona as she's wandered off despite being very sick. Head our way to the temple, where I discover I have an insta-kill attack when the enemy is down. Would have been very useful to know that earlier, but oh well. Along the way, I get a new weapon, which means extra damage. Now, I know this version comes with the NieR Automata weapons, which early game are very strong, but that would make this a little too easy. Finally make it to Yona, but she's behind a protective barrier. Hit the book that seems to be creating the barrier to break the seal, then talk to said book. Now, waves and waves of enemies will appear without end, as I need to use Weiss's magic to trigger some dialogue. So I'm going to use it once, just to trigger the dialogue. Not hit anything, so it should be fine. Hopefully, this is the only time we're going to need to do something like this. Kill the remaining shades to move on to the bosses. Best way to beat the boss is stick close, dodge roll, or block. Eventually you will down one, and we can see why we're not going to use Weiss, as we almost kill Yona with our magic. Or maybe NieR just has terrible aim. Repeat the first part till you kill one boss. Now we have some shades spawning, so I just jump and do heavy attacks to knock the shades over to insta-kill them. Once they're all gone, I can focus on the boss. Same strat as before, but this time you can't parry its down attack because it causes lava spikes to come up, damaging you anyways. We also have a limited amount of heals, but I follow the soul strat to bosses. The closer you are to the boss, the safer you are, despite what Weiss is telling you. No Weiss, I ain't gonna use magic. Then I died. I was so close. During the next run, I discovered a new strat. If I stay behind the boss, out of its line of sight, the boss does not aggro. So now I hit the side, dodge, hit the side, dodge, to a win. Next, we're off to the area, but make sure you save outside. And don't do what I did and save inside the area. Why? Well, after looking at this flower, Kanye appears and is all like,
"Nice flower. Your hands off the flowers."
And then it's on to a fight with Kanye. In the first phase, it's easy enough. Make sure you're standing in front of her to parry attacks, especially kicking, as the game hitboxes are not accurate, though the parry window is very generous. Second phase is a lot tougher, as now she's aggressive and will try to hit you with a combo, magic attacks, and a dash attack. Stupid me forgot to bring heals, so I only have 2, and there's still another stage with Kanye, and another boss fight right after. Remember earlier when I was like, don't save in the area? This is why. You can't leave the area after entering, so I can't go back and get my heals. So I got 2 options. I can either get really good with the Kanye fight, and the next boss fight straight after, basically not really needing the heals, and spend God knows how long trying to do that. Or 2, I restart my game, and before going off to the area, maybe doing some side quests, get some money, and buy a bunch of heals. Can you guess what I did? The second run goes so much faster, as I now know to knock down and insta-kill the enemies with stabby attack. For the Hansel and Gretel fight, I took what I learnt from the first time, being behind them so they don't aggro and attack me. This strat then evolved into hold down heavy attack to win. This would end with breaking their poise and maybe do a stab, at which point I would dodge behind them, making them not attack. If I was too slow with the dodge or lingered too long in front of them, I would just block. You can't hold block for too long, as if you block enough attacks, your block will break like the boss and they can do some damage. This made the boss fight a lot easier. Side note, at the end of the boss fight, OBS sort of crashed and then the footage got corrupted. So I had to do this boss fight from the beginning again. Kanye again, and this went a lot easier. First phase is a joke, second phase dodge as much as I can, and hit after she does her attacks. Since I stocked up on heals and brought a new weapon, the plan was just to out-heal her, and hope I have enough heals for the ballsack boss. At third phase, Kanye is a lot more aggressive, hitting harder, and the window to counterattack is much shorter. It's almost like you should be using magic to fight. No time for that, Ballsack appears, and it looks like Kanye has some beef with him, so she fights alongside you. Not too hard, I focus on the hand and dodge the ground pound attacks. I can't hit him when he climbs up the rock face, so I just focus on killing the balls that spawn out, as they can use magic, and I can't. And that's not fair. A lot of this fight is just dodge and hit when you can. Don't worry, he'll go down. Along with Kanye.
Is she human?
Next, I tried to take on a ball for a side quest, and one hit almost killed me.
It was at this moment that he knew.
I don't know. They look pretty strong.
So I ran, and he hit me again.
He fucked up.
Off to the junkyard, where the brothers can't upgrade my weapons because they got no materials. Guess I gotta get them myself, so I entered the factory to find some. The robots here keep hitting me with their flamethrowers and have a lot of health. One is easy enough on its own, but more and more come, so it's best to wait for the attacks to finish and then hit them. Eventually you find ones that shoot magic, but your attacks deflect magic, or you could just run around and wait for them to be done. Once I get the parts, I go back in to try and find their mum. Same as before, but I have a section on a car. Casually I would just spam magic, but I can't, so I just spam dodge and parry and try to out-heal. Luckily, the room before the boss has a hill and a safe point. This boss fight is a massive gimmick and probably an homage to The Legend of Zelda. Shoot the orbs in the center of the hands to damage them, but we can't, so we dodge the hand attacks. It always has the same attacks in the same order, and wait for a hand to slam us, dodge out of the way, and beat the ever-loving crap out of it. Then the same for the other hand. Repeat this so the hands get destroyed. Second phase is kill all the enemies. These machines are a lot easier, only taking a couple hits to kill them. In phase 3, you've got to throw bombs into its mouth. Directly into it, not on its lower jaw. That doesn't count. Eventually, the boss will go down. Yona is super sick. We gotta go to seafront to get some fish. Along the way, we save someone and get a new weapon. Unfortunately, it's not better than the one we have, so thanks, I guess. Go to the fisherman who tells us he won't fish, so we gotta do it ourselves. This fishing minigame is one of the most frustrating moments in this game. The amount of times I have failed to do the way I did it first time. Well, okay then. So back to Yona we go, but not before helping this old woman with her letters. Give Yona the fish, then she cooks a stew after we go out and collect all the ingredients.
Sure, Yona. Come tomorrow. Yona's not gonna be the only one here who's sick.
Popular tells us the area is under attack, so I buy the Beastbane and some heals ready for this fight. The shades here have a magic deflecting barrier, which doesn't matter since we hit stuff with our sword. Kill all the shades, then it's a boss fight with old Bullsack. Phase 1 is dodge shockwaves. Since I'm attacking his foot, he likes the shockwave a lot more than anything else. Then the icon will appear to tell you to do enough damage to go to the next phase, but normally bosses would be stunned at this point. Bullsack is not, so you can still get hit while trying to bring this timer down. So this phase takes me a couple of minutes since I have to wait before I can attack him, and the timer keeps resetting, so his health keeps going back up to normal, bring back the timer, and eventually I get to the next phase. Phase 2, you have to destroy the house he is somehow holding, so he stops spawning balls. After a while, he will use the house as a slam attack, dodge the shockwave, and hit the house. After a few attacks of him slamming, you will be done. The next section of the fight requires you to kill more spheres shaped in this 2D platforming section. A lot easier with magic, and for some reason, jumping feels off in this bit. When you jump, it's a lot harder to move left or right, and I wasted a lot of heals as I kept getting hit by their magic. Eventually, I killed them all and reached the boss. He's the same as the first part, only this time he charges forward and the stage is a lot smaller, which resulted in me getting knocked off the stage a lot. Especially when he spawns more balls. So after being knocked off the stage so many times I lost count and spilt tea over me in a rage, I decided to go back and do some grinding. Buy a load of health salves as well as some defense and attack boost. I do the same thing again, but this time at each of the different phases I die so I can regain the health I lost from the previous phase. Make it to the final phase and using a load of defense boosts and strength boosts managed to knock the boss down. I got stuck underneath and I was unable to attack it. This caused me so much rage, I died when the boss got its health back and knocked me off. Now with no boosts, I grind it out, making sure I don't get stuck when the boss gets knocked down. Boss down, and you guessed it, so is Kanye. We now have Kanye in our party. We can give her some directions, but I never used this before, so I don't bother with it this time. Looks like the enemy shades have now gotten stronger. I have been using the shades to farm health herbs, and now they are hitting hard. It's almost negating the amount they drop compared to the amount I need to use. I guess I can't rush it like I've been doing for a little while now, so I'm gonna have to take my time and be slow with them. Before we go to the Kingdom of Rules, I'm going to deliver this letter and fight the first boss we fought all the way back in the beginning. All 1,402 years ago. I guess they've been training all these years as they are kicking my ass.
The shade had a flower?
Side quest done. It's off to the desert. Then eventually to the desert's temple after following Fira for about an hour and a half. And for the love of God, don't stand in front of her. Don't wander off too far. This was the part I was dreading. The kingdom is all about rules, so each room has a different set of rules. So far, they're related to not using magic. Little do they know, I've not been using magic this whole time. Then I reached the room. No attacks allowed. The room is designed for you to use magic. I tried tricking the game by doing a single hit, but no, it resets the room. So I try dodge rolling into the blocks to see if that does damage, then attack, and it still resets the room. So cover your eyes and no peeking. Hey, I said no peeking. After that, we have a fight where we're not allowed to dodge. No problem. Then a mini boss. No problem. Then it's on to the actual boss. This boss is made up of cubes from the other rooms. Ones that shoot magic, and the ones you need to break. Only the red ones can be targeted, and this is the moment that I dreaded, because despite my efforts, my sword can't reach the blocks to hit them. There seems to be an invisible wall, so I can't get any closer to the boss. So I try to see if I have an attack that has some range, but nothing. I try different weapons, but nothing. I try standing in different spots to get closer to the boss, but the invisible wall makes it even so if there is ground that is closer to the boss, you can't step on it. This boss requires you to use your magic to hit it. So, despite cheating twice, if you count that one room that I had to kill like 20 blocks in as just cheating once, you can't actually beat this boss without using Weiss's magic. Up until this point, I've used magic, but not had to use it to fight an enemy or a boss. And this boss literally required me to use magic to even damage it. So this is when I called the challenge run a failure. If you would like me to continue this challenge, despite the fact that technically it's not doable, but only use it when I absolutely need to use magic, then let me know in the comments section down below. I'm sorry this one was a lot shorter. I didn't quite realize that the fifth boss in this game, what was it, the third boss? The fourth boss in this game would basically go, hey, use magic. But that's the way it goes. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, leave a like. If you don't, feel free to leave a dislike. Comment below what you think. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.
Morse. Marvelous. Together on the track. Let's go. Red sus, red sus. Red sus, red sus. Red sus, red sus. Red sus, sus. Red sus, red sus. Red sus, red sus. Red sus, red sus. Red sus, sus.